Welcome or welcome back. We're doing a new moon horoscope for the new moon in Sagittarius, which is happening on Monday, December 12th, 2023 at 6:32 p.m. Eastern Time. That is going to be 3:32 p.m. Pacific Time for reference. We're going to dive into this new moon, how it's going to be affecting you, the collective, and how you can work with this energy based on your rising sign. So stick around. If you guys are new here, my name is Leah, aka the Cosmic Rose. We do astrology, astrology 101, tarot, and spirituality. Diving into this new moon, guys, this new moon is pretty exciting in the sign of Sagittarius at 20 degrees and 40 minutes of Sagittarius. As you guys may know, a new moon is when you have an exact conjunction with the sun and the moon. So the sun and the moon are conjunct in Sagittarius, which is our mutable fire sign. If you break it down to the basics, Sagittarius is a sign about adventure. It is about learning, knowledge, higher education, higher knowledge. Sometimes can be associated with spirituality and or religion or philosophy, but it's really a sign of trying to gain knowledge through adventure. So there is an element here of wanting to do something bigger and find something bigger. And this is when you go big or go home. New moon is when you are planting seeds of intentions. New moons are fresh beginnings, fresh starts. The dark moon that comes before the new moon is usually when you're letting things go. A lot of people get the full moon and the new moon energies mixed up, where people are planting seeds of intentions on the full moon, when on the contrary, the new moon is when you should be planting your seeds of intention. And when we get to the full moon in Sagittarius in 6 months, those seeds of intentions will hopefully be brought to the surface and a culmination point at the brightest part of the lunation cycle. I did want to mention that this new moon is happening in the first degree of the third decan of Sagittarius, which is traditionally ruled by planet Saturn, which also corresponds to the 10 of Wands tarot card. If you guys are familiar with the 10 of Wands tarot card, the 10 of Wands tarot card is a card that is about carrying a lot of burdens and stress, maybe putting our obligations in too many different directions. And you think about mutable fire, I can see how that would correlate. Oftentimes I correlate mutable energy, especially mutable fire, to kind of being a little bit scattered, and it's more anxiety driven sometimes because our attention is in a million different places. So you could have a lot of different things going on, especially it being Sagittarius season, and our attention just needs to be brought to the basic fundamentals of where we're going and where we're headed, instead of putting our attention in a million different directions. We are somewhat burdened by our responsibilities, and we have too many responsibilities and too many directions that we're trying to go in all at once, and we really need to bring our attention back to the now and what is currently going on and where we are headed for the future. Now, diving into the specifics of this new moon really speaks of planting our seeds and intentions in regards to lightening our load a little bit, taking some of our burdens and responsibilities off our shoulders and making things more light and adventurous, and just having fun with it. So instead of being stressed out because we have things in a million different places and directions and obligations in a million different directions, we really can kind of narrow our focus down and lighten our load and have fun while we're doing it. This new moon does make a in conjunction almost exactly in the two Uranus and Taurus. Uranus in Taurus is at 19 degrees and is retrograde, and this new moon is at 20 degrees, so that makes it only a 1 degree orb. That being said, it also is forming, I would consider it being a yod as well, because it is making a sextile to the south node in Libra at 21 degrees, and that is also making an in conjunction. And yods are a little bit tricky and definitely a little bit uncomfortable. I just want to highlight on the in conjunction from the new moon to Uranus first, and then we can talk about the overall aspect of the yod. The new moon is really looking at the bigger picture and the long-term goals, trying to figure out if we're happy in the direction that we're heading. And that in conjunction, when we have an in conjunction, that means there are no similarities between the planets or the signs. So Uranus and Taurus has nothing in common with the new moon energy, and we have to find a way to mesh them, which is sometimes very difficult and definitely uncomfortable. The in conjunction from the new moon to Uranus and Taurus is definitely asking us to figure out if our long-term vision is in alignment with what we have been building. We have to ask ourselves if the work that we're putting in for our long-term vision is truly in alignment with our goals and our values of how our future looks. We have to figure out if the things that we're doing in our lives are realistically helping us to build our future, or is it causing us more stress and setback? Are we having fun doing it? If you're not having fun, or if you're not getting enjoyment out of the things you're doing in your day-to-day life, then that could be a clear indication that you are out of alignment with your true purpose, mission, and your values. When you add in the aspect of the yod, that is really actually reminding us that our past situations that we're moving away from, specifically in relationships, because the South Node is in Libra, Are we taking those lessons and utilizing them towards building our future? When you have a yod, you have to go towards the point of the yod, which is Uranus and Taurus. So something that we have been building for our future it can be very uncomfortable to let go of things from the past. That also means that the new moon is trying the North Node, and the North Node in Aries is really asking for our sovereignty and doing what is right for our individual selves, what we're truly passionate about, and if we are in alignment with ourselves and utilizing lessons that we have learned from our relationships with people and situations in our past. That's what we're moving away from with the South Node in Libra. There's also an approaching square with Neptune at the end of Pisces. Neptune just stationed direct last week, so that is good that Neptune is direct, but an approaching square is really us trying to break through any of the illusion and confusion and disorientation that we might have in regards to our future or how it looks, making sure that we're spiritually in alignment. And Neptune has a tendency to I say this all the time, but Neptune has a tendency to blur the lines of everything. So when you have a square, especially an approaching square, you really want to break through any of those illusions that you've been telling yourself. There is an element here of also feeling fatigued and just drained from all our responsibilities being scattered all around. So that is just reminding us to utilize the things that are most important, most in alignment, and not draining our energy. If your energy is getting drained, that is probably a clear indication again that you are not in alignment. This is also not a good time to indulge in things like drugs and alcohol. Definitely be careful with those kinds of things around the time of this new moon, because there could be a tendency for it's just not a good look. There is also a conjunction with Mars to this new moon. The orb is a little bit wider at 7 degrees, but this is kind of just like it's intensifying the desire and the burning passion within us to be motivated to get things done. But again, our energy could be kind of scattered with Mars being in mutable fire, Sagittarius, conjunct this new moon. But there is an element here of having a lot of energy and enthusiasm whilst also being exhausted with the square to Neptune and drained by things that aren't in alignment. So as long as you are in alignment with your purpose, your mission, and your values, you're going to be okay. But utilizing your energy and not scattering your energy in a million different places, that is where the fatigue and the drained energy is going to come from. So if you're truly in alignment, you're going to have energy, passion, and enthusiasm towards achieving your long-term goals. The dispositor of this new moon is Jupiter. Jupiter has been in the sign of Taurus and also retrograde in the sign of Taurus. And Jupiter just got done with its opposition to Venus in Scorpio. As we talked about in previous videos, Venus in Scorpio is actually in its detriment position. It doesn't necessarily do super well here in Scorpio, but Venus in Scorpio can also be very passionate. It's a little bit borderline obsessive, but there's something here with an opposition to Jupiter in Taurus. It's something about reevaluating our value system and what we truly want and desire, not only in our relationships, but for ourselves and our integrity within ourselves. This is a really good social energy. I also like the fact that we have a sextile from Mercury to Venus as well, and that utilizes on good harmony in our relationships, good social energy, making plans and setting your intentions that involve other people. I really like this new moon for. One last aspect I do want to mention is Mars is going to be trying to Chiron in Aries. Mars and Sagittarius trying to Chiron in Aries, and this is really about utilizing our wounds that are within ourselves. I like the fact that it's a trine because it's a very harmonious energy, and Chiron in Aries has been working through wounds within ourselves and has been in opposition to the South Node in Libra. So that's wounds within ourselves that have also been caused by past relationships. Keep in mind also that Mercury is going to be stationing retrograde the day after this new moon in Sagittarius. About 16 hours after the new moon, Mercury is stationing retrograde at 8 degrees of Capricorn and will retrograde back into Sagittarius. Overall, I really like this new moon energy. I think it's a really great new moon to set intentions for getting things done and being motivated to not only heal things from the past, but move away from things from the past. It's not really a huge emotional energy. I don't necessarily like it for a lot of emotional things, but it is a good energy for setting intentions, getting things done, and making plans and executing plans for your future that is in alignment with your purpose, your mission, and your values, most importantly. So I'm just going to go over the rising signs and what house this new moon is happening for you guys. So if you are an Aries rising, this is happening in your 9th house. This could be you setting intentions or plans for a new educational pursuit or new plans to travel. If you are a Taurus rising, this is happening in your 8th house, and this could be you either settling some financial difficulties that you've been having. You could also be making new investments at this time, or you could take on a new interest in occult sciences, spirituality, etc. If you are a Gemini rising, this is happening in your 7th house. You guys could quite literally be getting into a new relationship around this time, or you could just be refreshing a relationship that is already in existence. If you are a Cancer rising, this is happening in your 6th house. So you guys could have new intentions or just a focus on your health and wellness at this time. Also, something you've been working on, you could be hired at a new job. If you are a Leo rising, this is happening in your 5th house. So you guys could be taking on a new creative project or setting intentions for a new creative project. You could feel very inspired in regards to creative projects, or you could just be dating or meeting new people and or relationships at this time. If you are a Virgo rising, this is happening in your 4th house. So you guys could be making renovations to your home or buying and or selling a new home. This could also involve your family, your parents, something going on in regards to your family situation. If you are a Libra rising, this is happening in your 3rd house. So you guys could be changing up your daily routine, your commute. Something could be going on with your car. This could also be you investing in like a new writing project or new communication, social media, something of that matter. If you are a Scorpio rising, this is happening in your 2nd house. So you guys could be finding new ways to make money and or setting intentions to make more money in the future. If you are a Sagittarius rising, this is happening in your 1st house, of course. So you guys could quite literally be changing your appearance or just setting new intentions to change your actual physical self or your internal self. If you are a Capricorn rising, this is happening in your 12th house. So you guys could be setting intentions of a new spiritual pursuits. Also, mental health and or psychology could be prominent around this time. And or you could also be relieving some sort of addiction or making amends to quit some harmful habit. If you are an Aquarius rising, this is happening in your 11th house. You guys could be making new friends or having new social groups or networking, setting intentions for largening your circle. If you are a Pisces rising, this is happening in your 10th house. So you guys could be setting intentions in regards to your career or your public persona, just making sure that your work is in alignment and your public identity could be on the rise. And that's all I have for you for the new moon in Sagittarius, guys. If you did like this, please do like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. If you want to book personal readings with me, you can message me on any platform, and I will see you guys on the next one. Happy new moon. I love you.